Here's the Jack Perry commercial. It wasn't a commercial. It was a literal vignette where a Taco Bell commercial played in the middle of it. Now, this Dynamite, and we'll talk about the ratings as I try and get Collision on here. You know, it did terrible ratings in the overrun. It's like Tony advertising the overrun has, like, the audience that normally would tune in during that time now is starting to go, oh no, that wrestling will be on, and now we're tuning out because, like, the overrun ain't helping, nothing's helping. The dude's, you know, he needs a lifeboat, and I don't know, man. He just thinks everything's great.
Yeah, man.
And I don't. Yeah, but this happened in the middle of their show, and just some of the IWC people ridiculously responded to this, like, "Oh, Taco Bell should give them lots of money because everyone's talking about it now." They're just so, it's crazy. It's literally psychotic. I'm going to play this. Hopefully I don't get Don Stevens for this, but I'm going to turn this down here. And
the question is how much you're willing to sacrifice.
Like, we're for sure going to get Don Stevens unless I pause a bunch. So boom, all of a sudden, like in the middle of this guy's promo, Taco Bell.
Wow.
Yeah, is this real? Like, was this intentional? Some people were like, it's a work. Look, the watermarks here for AEW. And it's like, no, dude, the production sucks and Warner just doesn't give a shit. And they have $10 billion less or $9 billion less than everybody thought. That's what it is. And this is crazy that this happened.
Why take less when you can get a
Hyper is also good. Good job, chat.
Damn, this makes me want Taco Bell, though. Let's be real.
Yeah, right?
And then it goes back to dude's promo. This was on your wrestling program.
This is the first time I'm seeing this, by the way. Because I don't watch Dynamite, but this is the first time I'm seeing this. That's bad.
Oh, my God, man. It's honestly... All it does is make me want Taco Bell and not want to see Jack Perry wrestle. And, like, what a bad promo. Oh, I'm going to be a spooky guy with an axe. And then Drain Bamager's like, LMFAO, what? And it's like, people need to be calling this out. There's no way this stuff isn't being called out. Yo quiero Taco Bell, yo quiero Jack Perry, I guess. And I don't know. Your thoughts on that, Marie?
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Yo quiero, yeah. You gotta...
Just put the accent in there.
You ain't hype says for $2 says all of the tricks aren't working any longer.
Yeah,
that's great.
They're not, man. And it's crazy that, like, when WBD out of nowhere, so they go, the window of negotiating's closed for Tony Khan and AEW, and then all of a sudden, like 2 days later, it comes out they have $10 billion or whatever less than like what they have been reported or what's been reported. And it's just, I don't mean to, I'm not like, yeah, I want them to fail. You guys know that. Like, I'm struggling trying to put on Collision here just so I can watch FTR and the Outrunners. That's how much of a mark I am. But the thing is, you know, you gotta laugh when the writing was on the wall for so long and so many people were like, dude, what are you doing? Like, steer the ship in the right way. You know, you can do this. Like, try listening to critics. Why aren't you listening to other people? I don't know. Now they have Taco Bell commercials going on during their top guy. Like, isn't Perry supposed to be one of their top guys, right? Like, well, that's who they build the whole show around. Like, Tony Khan got attacked, the Young Bucks or whatever. They're there, but they're not there. So I'll get into that. So here's Dave Scheer with the ratings, right? And Dave Scheer says it's a good thing that their biggest show of the year isn't anytime soon, right? Man, this is fugly. It's not easy to lose 306,000 viewers from start to finish. Tony found a way to do it, damn. So here's the ratings. Like, Big Bang comes in with a solid 822K, and then look at this, just instantly, like, almost 100,000 people, almost another 100,000, almost 300,000. Boom, by the overrun, they're all like this. You have like over 300,000 people less. And then, like, it's the opposite of what NXT does. So NXT wins the ratings. I don't care when they play the trick and go, the average. But no, the average is 900,000 people turning their TVs off who were literally watching Sheldon Cooper. That's what the average is. So it's not your show even doing that. this is what your show's doing: 7:32 to 5:35, and even that, I don't know, like how much. So people were like, yeah, I really like MJF and Fletcher. Not really, because so I don't know. It's incredibly disappointing, and their biggest shows coming, and even I tried to shill for them. Phil the Shill was like, man, the 800,000, they held it for an hour. They held it for an hour. They had the hotshot book to do that. If they don't do that, there's no interest. Tony put out a statement saying, man, a bunch of the talent couldn't make it to Dynamite, right? But then he also comes out and says every scheduled match made it, though. Every scheduled match was there. So this was his card. This had nothing to do with people not being able to show up. This was just a terrible rating. And then they used the Olympics as an excuse, but then beats the Olympics on cable and in the demos and all this. And then there's no, Meltzer's coping and saying, well, they advertised their move to the Sci-Fi Network really well.
Yeah.
Embarrassing. It's humiliating, man. It's really humiliating. And we have a video here. You guys can see this, obviously. So here's the NXT ratings. So, like, even though they were in the 500,000s, like, at least if AEW was doing this, I would be putting them over on my life. Yeah. Okay, guys? I would be putting it over and going, well, look, they're starting low and then they're peaking interest and they're like building towards their main event. Now, when they had Trick Williams and all that he was doing with Carmelo in the main event, NXT's ratings were beating AEW. Now that they've shifted away from Trick, we're starting to see, like, damn, it's not, the main events aren't hitting as hard and stuff. And they also just had Pete Dunne go over on Trick blatantly, like, just clean. So hopefully they have an idea for Trick, because he's so over. You want to talk about killing momentum. But either way, this is how you, like, need to build interest to a wrestling show, in my opinion. But the overrun piqued some more interest, but whatever. I would even give NXT some, like, damn, you guys are going to C-Dub, let's step it up. But when they go head to head with AEW, we'll really see, because we know that CM Punk and I believe Cody Rhodes are going to be on the NXT's, because in October, just in time for my birthday and Tony Khan's birthday, NXT and AEW go head to head like 2 days before Tony Khan's birthday. It's going to be hilarious. Your thoughts on just basically NXT and AEW head to head and the ratings, just basically everything I'm blibbering and bathering about there, Marie?
I mean, it's kind of sad to start off strong and then somehow just dip where people are like, oh, I'm interested. Yeah, like just dip, and then to blame it on the Olympics, but the Olympics are every 4 years. They can't keep doing that. They can't keep saying, oh, this is our excuse. This is our excuse. No, just own it. Write some stories, listen to a couple people, and like do a whole overhaul. I do think that like any of the bad publicity is like really starting to affect the brand of AEW and the brand of the wrestlers. And people just don't want to see it anymore, as opposed to NXT, where NXT understands what they are and what they present to the wrestling fans. You go there and you watch a wrestling show, meaning that like you're going to get entertained and you're going to be like, oh my God, that guy flipped, a million times, but then got caught. You're going to be lost in the story. It's a little bit harder to do that with AEW Dynamite because, just AEW in general, because AEW is so meta that they probably know they're meta, but they don't they don't stop being meta, if that makes any sense. But it's shocking, it really is.
I see in the chat too, they need to 180 on Trick. They do. They need to fix that Trick. They really, really, really do. And before, though, I was talking about the Young Bucks. And I tweeted this out. Oh, great. Build a whole angle around the Bucks invading the company and have them attack Tony Khan and give them NBA level deals when you're in the red, just so they can take time off right before AEW's biggest event of the year. This is a joke. And the Bucks have been off TV because their contract has them working limited dates, and their EVPs, and this thing's going to, and they're wrestling. No one wants to see them wrestle on the show, and they build the whole angle around them invading the company that doesn't culminate at All In. It has nothing to do with All In, and these guys have done nothing good, no good whatsoever. And this is an old school Bucks fan right here, but it's the truth, man. We got to be objective about it. And it just really, I don't know, this just irks me. It's like, what do you mean limited dates? They should be working overtime right now on TV trying to get over this whatever that wasn't working, that they at least let them just get squished and murdered by someone to like make everyone happy, you know, give like at least give people what they want to see or something. They're just going to show up at All In and like a 3-way tag team title match. And it's meaningless and nothingness, and they're contributing to it, and they're making NBA level deals for less dates. Tony gave them NBA level deals, 7 figures probably. That's what comes to mind when you're saying NBA level to me. Both of them as individuals, and they're showing up to work less now, leading up to what is supposed to be their WrestleMania level show.
I agree.
And as I'm supposed to be a fan of this, I'm supposed to like get behind this and be like, yeah. Meanwhile, Cody's in Japan while SmackDown's on, cutting a promo from his locker room, sending it in. Like, what are we doing, man? I don't know. It irks me. AEW fans complain about NXT. You're with Punk and Orton, but are okay with MJF versus Ospreay. Make it make sense. Hi, Phil and crew. Bye. Hey, you must be in a rush or something, bro. I appreciate you for that. Dude, thank you so much, Naughty Source. And they do. They're complaining about NXT and they're going to cry. Here's the thing with NXT. It's developmental where main roster guys rotate in and out of there. And they're going to cry about it, but exactly. They have these multi-million-dollar guys on each show getting $500,000 viewers. And the fact is, the debate is between them and NXT, and the most main roster guys NXT has right now is Gallows and Anderson. So like the fact that that's even the debate of like, here's what we compare to. We can't compare Dynamite to SmackDown or none of that. That's telling enough. And then when Punk and Orton, I think it's Orton that's going to be on NXT. Yeah, not Cody. It's going to be Orton on the one and then CM Punk on the other one. And they're taking NXT on the road and it's on the C-Dub. I can't wait. But they're going to get so mad and they're going to be like, oh, I had to bring out the A-listers. But then they're so dumb that they don't get how that's a diss to all of the guys who are getting multi-million-dollar contract, quote-unquote, A-listers, best wrestlers in the world in AEW. It's a slap in the face to all them. To say like, oh, Punk is bigger than all of our roster or what? Like that's just them eating themselves alive and they don't even realize it. But I'll never get tired of covering it or laughing at it. But yeah, Marie, your thoughts? Like the Bucks just taken off.
Listen, man, I'm with you 100% in like your assessment. The only thing that I would probably add on is that like, you know, the AEW fans, the ones that are still hanging on, praise this. They don't say anything. They don't give any pushback. But if you talk about the Golden Boy Cody Rhodes, they come out of left field to tell you that Cody Rhodes lied about a lot of things. And then it's like, well, why are you not using the same energy towards the Young Bucks, where the Young Bucks should be building the vision that they wanted since like 2019? Like, this is what I don't understand. It's like, did they want to have just easy lives? And I get it. Like, I would like to have an easy life that gets that basically gets a paycheck every, you know, week or whatever, however it goes in the wrestling business. I would love that. But I know that hard work and determination and like ambition will pay off, and then you guys could be as big as WWE rather than trying to poke the bear and be like, oh, look at us, you know? Wrestling is tough and it's hard, and I get it. And the boys end up like putting their body through so much, but it's like, you know, what can you do? You can't really drag them to the office because they're gonna go kicking and screaming. If they're gonna stay home, they're gonna stay home, and they're gonna realize why Wembley again is probably gonna be, you know, another failure, and I'm probably gonna get heat for that. But failure in the fact of like, there are probably high expectations for the UK crowd itself, not so much of the American crowd, but it's probably high expectations for the UK crowd, and then it may not even, you know, deliver, because the Young Bucks are going to do the same thing. It's going to be the same formula. It's going to be the same super kicks, the same spots. You know, how much can you do? Like, I'm totally with you, man.
Yeah, and I mean, the ratings are a reflection of it. And just when I talk about these fans who don't realize they're on, they don't realize how by not being honest about this, they're just making it worse. And yeah, they bury the talent backhandedly. Meltzer does this all the time too.
Yep.
But this AEW defender, Taco Bell, is looking at social media, trying to decide how much more money they should throw at AEW. Thanks, trolls. I hope you're having a Baja Blast with that Jack Perry clip. Like, he thought that's cute. Like, That's literally one of the most cringiest tweets I've ever seen in my life.
Dummy. Yeah.
And like, yeah, dude, no, they're not trying to do that, bro, whatsoever. And these numbers indicate that. Look at that. They're not trying to do that at all.
No.
They're getting ready to sue AEW. Like, how dare you? How dare you air our commercial during this shit? No, I'm just joking. But
I honestly think that somebody in the production like truck or whatever just pressed the button for commercial, like just right in the middle of that Jack Perry thing, just to be like, I'm so tired of this.
Yeah, it was like Chris Daniels. He's like, oh, this. It's all about leadership. It's all about leadership.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
Played his role, the company would roll downhill.
Oh, I was gonna quickly mention that I don't even know any update of if Jack Perry is still part of House of Torture. I don't even know if that is still a thing.
Who knows? Yeah, most of the chat's probably like, "What the f is House of Torture, Marie?"
Oh God, guys, how much time you got?
Yeah, exactly. It's goddamn. It is all about leadership. That's the key thing lacking in all these problems. When there's people bullying people backstage, and you're not, or not even bullying, just fights breaking out. You're not handling business correctly. You can't tell your friends no, and all of that. Yeah, it just falls on leadership ultimately. Everything at the end of the day, it stems from the roots, the seed, or all the roots stem from the seed, or however you want to look at it. And yeah, he just needs and start with better creative, or like even their backstage segments with Osprey and MJF. Like, how about film those better? Like, man, it just looks so amateurish. Not saying the Bucks got them suits from the same place Seth Rollins shops, but I'm pretty sure. Pretty damn sure it's close. But yeah, man, these fans like to cope. And we were talking about WBD before, and WBD's like, we have to save money. They do, but the Cartoon Network's website has been shut down.
What?
Owned by Warner. Yes, dude. And this sucks. Like, I'm a nerd, dude. I like this.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I use the Cartoon Network website ever, but I mean, it's just sad, and it just redirects people to Max. So they're just siphoning people like, no, come watch Cartoon Network here. Now, of course, that's a good idea if you're trying to just say, no, it's all on here. But just the fact, like, why would the site shut down? And I'm sure there were people working for it and da-da-da-da. So they just looked at the Cartoon Network site as, hey, we're just going to, you just got to come over here now. So, and these are cost-cutting measures, folks. As much as some people might go, no, it's not. It is cost-cutting measures. You know, think about this. Eric Bischoff famously walked into WCW and was like, oh, we have to cut costs on pencils. You know, Vince McMahon came in and got rid of water coolers. And so, yes, shutting down a whole site and the staff, the people who operate it, and all the cost that goes into it, all of it, that's definitely a cost cutting measure. You know what I mean? And we have even people like JD from NY206 who says, so AEW announces tonight, which I believe is tonight, Swerve Strickland will defend the world title, or it's a title eliminator. So if he loses, someone gets a shot at his belt. You also have MJF defending his title at Rev Pro against Michael Oku or something like that, leading up to. That's silly as well. Yeah, even JD from NY is going, why? 2 weeks before All In, we're doing open challenges to who? In front of who? 300,000 people? Talk about clueless, man. Holy shit. Now, I applaud him for saying that, but I don't know what he was saying a year ago when they were doing the same, but people are waking up. That's all I'm saying. AIR Gold even pipes in last night and goes, I can't lie. I'm watching Rampage, or this is this morning, and there's not one good thing on tonight's episode, or this was yesterday, today, whatever the in the morning. Yeah, I can't lie, I'm watching Rampage and there's not one good thing on tonight's episode. So even this dude is admitting that. So when people want to sit there and be like, oh, the blue checks are just doing for the you, that's why I waited over a year. Or actually, no, I was in the IWC way longer, but you know, I waited a couple years to get my goddamn blue check because I didn't want to be accused of that, but people are going to throw it around anyway. So even AIR Gold, who we've covered on the show, who has me blocked, you know, is saying that, like, it's bad. And then when you feature like this on the show, so here's Wheeler Yuta just burying like 17 moves right here. So I'm going to turn the volume off, and here's Aubrey Edwards, guys. So I know you spotted her out in the wild. just trotting along, you know, in the wild. You know, you guys spotted it, not me. I didn't. And I know it's hard to like wrangle it in, but here's Wheeler Yuta on Dynamite or Rampage or something, and look at what he's doing. And why are they going with the white ropes, trying to look like WWE? Like, it's just so desperate. And look at what he's doing. He's burying 18 moves here. Here's Aubrey Edwards selling herself. So he does like a sliced bread reversal into a tombstone. Right? Cross-legged tombstone.
What?
And then look at what he does. Instead of pinning him, he picks him up and then starts elbowing him. Elbow, elbow, elbow. And this is Rocky Romero, too, putting Yuta over.
Listen. I just want to.
And then he chicken wings him, dude. So hold on a minute. He fucking tombstones him. He hits him with the Gary Goodridge elbow, brutal, vicious elbow strikes, the 12 to 6s, and then he, instead of covering him, he slings him over into a Danielson special chicken wing, and then he has to verbally tap. So you drop a guy on his head, batter his head, and then make him try and verbally tap, or like the ref stoppage. It doesn't make sense. B, it just buried 4 different moves. Let's look at this.
So what he does is a cattle mutilation. That is what Danielson does. That's what he's known for. Yeah. I do a series called Tape Study Series where I break down professional wrestling matches, and oh my god, I'm trying to contain a little bit of anger on this because it's kind of stupid. I say that less is more. If you're gonna do that like tombstone kind of thing where you have the legs and you like clutch it in and you drive his head down, cover him. I don't give a shit. That should be it. 1, 2, 3, you win the match. There's no reason for you to have like elbows right after that. There's no reason for you to try to Wheeler Hawk up because like, bro, you're not even like that big of a hulking person to Hawk up like that anyway. But you shouldn't be doing that. And then you shouldn't even be doing cattle mutilation because the cattle mutilation in itself is basically like a good ass move to submit somebody. I swear, this is why he got booed out of the arena when he went over to Japan to do the best of the Super Juniors, and I was not having it on my show. I was like, bro, you suck right now. Which I don't say that. I really don't. I do not like saying to a wrestler they suck. I like saying to a wrestler, hey, this is bad. But seriously, dude, no one sits down with these people to be like, bro, just use that as a finisher. Don't do no follow-up. Because obviously the guy is like not responding. He's not blocking. He's not trying to be like, oh, let me grab this elbow and let me try to like get out of this and go to the corner and get some life into me. No, he's not doing that. He's knocked him out. Why are you still continuing to attack him? Like, it bothers the fuck out of me. And I just want wrestling to be really good. You know, I want wrestlers to have to make sense.
All excuses, wrestling is dead. I had high hopes. High hopes. Talking about high hopes. Listen. Me too. I won't say it's dead. No matter what, Tony will like put it on an app or something. Like it ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, like Tony will just spend his money and have it. It'll just be on Triller or something. But ultimately, he up this business deal, like everyone said. And it's just unfortunate. I thought everyone was going to be proven wrong. Like, I didn't think that overall, but I thought somewhere in my soul, I was like, he's going to come out and get this crazy deal. Not like $1 billion, but it's going to be some where we all will be like, damn, we really put our feet, and even Eric Bischoff would have to eat some humble pie. And then just the opposite happened. WBD's like, yeah, well, we're shutting up shop, so you can come with us, or you know, you're on a sinking ship either way. So if you stick with us, you're just gonna look dumb too. So it's I don't know, it's bad, man. It just turned out you can't help but kind of laugh at it when people like I'm a diehard. I was a diehard. I got Collision on right now, but earlier I was talking about, you know, these marks, they like to do like the stopwatch game and go, oh, they're the whole SmackDown was promo and then just one boring match and stuff. And these promos, man, these wrestlers put their heart and souls into these promos, coming up with these gimmicks, coming up with these storylines, all of the like these vignettes, all of this stuff on top of like the wrestling. Like they take great artistic pride in this too. So to boo-boo on that, you're backhanding these wrestlers who like work in WWE. You think like, you think they don't understand it's the cream of the crop. I'll give you the perfect example. So Gunther, who is just one of the best technical wrestlers. Like, Meltzer used to nut in his pants over Gunther before the dude popped up in WWE. And then he started saying he was fat. And then when he got skinny, saying, oh, he's too skinny. He just looks like a regular guy. But either way, here's Gunther saying, he believes that Timothy Thatcher would thrive on a bigger stage if he would divert away from his quote-unquote core values, but also respects him for sticking to them. Now, some people might twist this and go, oh, Gunther's saying sell out. No, he's not saying that. He's just saying that, well, he'll say it right here. I think Tim would be on a bigger stage right now if he would divert away from some of his core values and accept professional wrestling for what it is on the big stage. As much as I enjoy that gritty catch-as-catch can shoot style wrestling with no smoke and mirrors, the reality is that it isn't going to draw the attention of a lot of people in 2024. At the end of the day, what we do is a business. But I respect that he does what makes him happy. You can have all the money in the world, but if you're not happy, then that's pretty useless. So Gunther, just a professional round of applause for Gunther there, because what he's saying is legit.
Yep.
But I couldn't agree with him more. And he's the most real quote unquote wrestler there is, Gunther, you know, the ring general, the world heavyweight champion. Okay, he's doing the damn thing. And so even he agrees with this. And the stopwatch marks, they time the promos. And I'm saying, you know, the bloodline stuff has been brilliant. And yes, it's a lot of talking and brawling and vignettes. And that's what wrestling has to be as well. At its core, it's a lot of that too. At its core, it is the wrestling. But beyond that, you know, how you draw a house, that's you have to do things other than just the wrestling and the physicality. So I just wrote, the funniest thing about these stopwatch marks timing the wrestling versus promos is that they're undermining the talent who work their asses off and are proud of these promos and stories and doing the monster business they're doing because of these promos, etc. This is why nobody likes you. You're not standing up for wrestlers or wrestling, just your own goofy self-serving purposes. And
100%. Yep.
Yeah.